So I got kind of bored of doing my regular videos, so I thought I'd try something new. This is how I iron. It's one of the least favorite things I enjoy doing. I can wash, I can fold, I can hang, I can do all that stuff. But usually shirts, and I wear a lot of long sleeve cotton shirts to work and stuff like that. I just don't like to iron. Not that I can't, I know how to do it. I just don't like to do it. So I usually send them off to be ironed. I'll clean them and everything and then send them and just have them ironed and pick them up. But it's been getting a little bit more expensive, so I said, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. A couple of things to think about when you're ironing is the type of shirt. So this shirt right here, a jersey, this is 100% polyester. You cannot go super hot. You can iron this shirt. Most of the time you won't need to because polyester pretty much is wrinkle free. But if it does have some, like it's really bad, put the iron on number 1, super low. Don't go above that. There's acrylics, nylon, rayon, polyester, which is 3. You can go up to 3, but I wouldn't recommend it. 4 is cotton blends. 5, 6, and 7 are cottons and wools and linen. So that's what you would use on a full cotton shirt, like a dress shirt. So I'm gonna do that today. Something else you want to consider is the type of starch, if you need to put starch into your ironing. I like using starch. I don't like using heavy starch, but I do like using regular starch. And to me, brand doesn't matter. So I'm gonna use regular starch, and I have a 100% cotton shirt, and you can find out right here in the shirt. It will tell you it's 100%. Be careful, some shirts are rayon. Those will also get messed up if you go super high. So make sure you choose the appropriate temperature for the iron. I'm gonna use this 100% cotton, so I'm gonna go super, super hot. The other thing is the iron is super, super hot, so make sure you don't injure yourself and be very, very careful. So with a shirt like this, I'll usually keep it buttoned for the first things that I do. And the first things that I usually do is the back of the sleeve, then the front of the sleeve. Then I'll do the other sleeve, back and front. Then I'll work on the collar. I usually open the collar, iron the inside of the collar, and then close the collar. And then I'll unbutton the shirt and do the front, the back, the second side of the back, and then the other front. And I'm done. So let me just show you what I do real quick. And I know this is probably, there's 1,000 different ways to do this, but this is the way I do it. And so I just wanted to be something that's simple, helpful for anybody, especially young guys that don't have somebody to help them do it. So this is just kind of a training video. So one thing I do recommend, and I do, is make sure the sleeves are buttoned, even this button here and the cuff buttons. So, and then I always do the button side first. So to me, this is the bottom side of the sleeve. So I'll put it down like that. Depending on if you're right or left-handed, I'm right-handed. You might want to be on that side or this side of the table. Lick your finger. That's how you check how hot it is. Don't touch it for a long time because it'll burn you, but if you lick your finger and you hear that, you hear it? It's ready. So on the bottom side of the shirt, I don't like to put starch on it because if you're gonna iron the bottom side of the shirt, it's gonna kind of iron the front side of the shirt too. So this is kind of like my prep stage where I'm just trying to get the creases out. And I'm pulling on the shirt sleeve so I can get as many creases out as possible. And so I got that, I got a little bit of the collar, of the cuff, the cuff of the sleeve, and I get in between the buttons a little bit and just try to do, a halfway decent job on the back side. I'm not overly concerned with this side of the shirt sleeve because it's not really noticeable. Now this side is the side that people are gonna see, right? Because it's gonna be your outer side of your sleeve. So I get my regular starch and I'll just do a quick back and forth with the starch. And again, I'll iron. And I always try to move the iron a lot, the point of the iron. Also, you don't want to use too digging motion on the point of the iron because I have torn a shirt before. So you want to put most of your pressure to the back flat side of the iron. And the point is important because you need to get in those little tight corners and you can get in there and really iron those out. And do the cuff. Make sure. If you do, sometimes it'll pinch and you'll make a little crease, or sometimes the shirt will have a natural crease. So try to keep those creases. But if you create one, just put a little bit more starch and then hit it again. A lot of times it won't come out unless you hit it with starch again. So that's my first sleeve. It's not too terrible. See how I pinched it on the back side? So now I'll just give it a little hit on the back side. Just a little creases here, just a little touch up. And then I'm gonna hit it with starch because it is kind of being difficult. It won't come out, and that'll kind of hit it out. So there's my first sleeve. And like I said, mostly it's this side that I want to make sure that it's as ironed and creaseless as possible. And this is the other side. You see how wrinkly it is? I'm going to hit this with just the iron, no starch. I don't really like starching the underside because I don't think you really need to. But you can if you want to. To me, I don't want to waste it. I didn't follow my own rules. I didn't put the buttons on. So I'm going to do that now. And depending on where you like the buttons, so the first button or the second button, you can set them there and then also already get the shape of the shirt and the creases just the way you like them. All right, so that's not too great, but it's not terrible. So this side, you see how now I got a little bit of a crease on right here. So this side definitely needs some starch. So I'm gonna get my starch. Put a little bit of starch on there. And I try to start in the middle of the sleeve and work out towards the edges. To me, that seems to work best. I use the point to kind of get up in the little corners and the creases, try to get up as much as possible and get all the way to the edge of the shirt as much as possible. Get up on the collar, or I keep calling it the collar, the cuff of the shirt. And that's pretty much it. Now check the other side. The other side looks decent. This side looks pretty good, better than it was. Time to go on. The next stage, I'm going to turn my table around. So this side's the square side, and this side over here is the round side. I'm going to turn the table around so that I can work on my collar. So I'm going to open up my collar like this and just get the inside a little bit hot, just so I can be able to now fold my collar and put it on this round side here, and then just hit that. I usually don't put starch on the collar. You can if you want to, but I don't usually. Get the center and then the two wings of the collar. The other thing I'll probably work on is the back side of right underneath the shirt, but I'll do that when I'm doing the whole shirt. So now that I got that done, I'm going to turn the table back around. I usually don't turn the table, but I'm doing it for the camera. And now I'm going to unbutton my shirt. I tried to do this buttoned one time and it just didn't work well, so unbuttoning the shirt, opening the shirt completely, to me usually works best. So now my collar's done, my sleeves are done. So now I'm going to work on the front side of the shirt. This is the side of the shirt that has the pocket on it. So I'm going to get my starch again. Do a double hit of starch. And again, kind of work from the middle and then go out towards the edges. This is the buttonholes. Hit that, keep it straight. Also, something I noticed is that the starch will make it stick, so I'll pull it up so it doesn't stay stuck, because sometimes if you leave it stuck, it'll crease in other parts, and then you have to do it again. So I usually make sure and unstick it so that I can keep it taut, and try to take out as many creases as I can with my other hand while I'm ironing with my ironing hand, in my right hand. So there's that. There's the pocket. So I got the sleeve and this side of the shirt done. I bring the sleeve over as gently as possible so I won't mess up the ironing that I just did on that. And turn it to the back. Put some more starch. I usually get the bottom first bottom straightened out, and then I'll pull, so try to take the creases out as much as possible. Unstick it. Pull where you're specifically where you're ironing. So right there I pulled and I still creased it right here, so I might need to put a little hit of starch right there. And be careful with crossing your hands over and hitting the iron. Very, very, very hot. I've had gotten welts before, so be careful with that. That just needed a little quick hit so I can get out that little crease that I created. And that should do it. Like I said, I'm not a professional ironing person. I don't do this for a living, so my way is probably the slacker way, but it's quick and dirty, and it still comes out pretty clean, and it looks presentable for work or going out for wedding, funeral, whatever you have. You unstick, pull, and keep ironing the creases. Use the tip to get in the corners, like I said earlier, but always keep pressure towards the back of the iron. Like I said, you don't want to dig with the front end because it will tear your shirt. I have torn shirts that way, especially on the sleeve. For some reason, it'll catch the sleeve. So now I've done the other front side, completely the back, and then now the side of the buttons. More starch. Get the bottom, pick it up a little bit so it gets unstuck, and then get work in between the buttons. So that part is ironed as well. Get over underneath the underarm of the shirt sleeve, and then get as high up on the buttons as you can. If you miss a little bit on the very top, it's not so noticeable because it's on the round of your shoulder, as long as your front is pretty well done. So that is how I iron a shirt. And get it up on the I get it on the see how in the back here it's a little bit messed up, so I might just hit that real quick. Just give it a little quick iron. I really need the other side for this. I could have done it with and I probably should have done it with a collar. But that's pretty much all there is to it. Just make sure you match the right heat to the right shirt. And I'm going to show you where on the other shirt where it is. I just do the very top button, I skip a button. I do the third button and skip a button. And then the fifth button. That way it's not all the way buttoned. And yeah, it's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. So much better than what it was. It's the front, that's the back. And like on this nylon shirt, all of the long sleeve shirts, I make sure they're all 100% cotton or a linen shirt. Sometimes you have to find it on the inside of the shirt. It'll have this, and this is where you find out that this is a polyester shirt. So you need to iron this at a low temperature. So don't ruin your jerseys. That's pretty much it. I hope this was helpful. I don't like ironing, but when you have to do it, it's pretty quick and simple. So enjoy.